This is our CSE412 project proposal, a fast food restaurant library. The proposed application system is a fast food restaurant library. This application will allow users to gain a thorough knowledge of the food available and the details associated with the food. This application will be available to restaurants and customers to aid with the constant updating of the library data. This application can be used in the following ways. It can be used by restaurants to get an understanding of the surrounding competition in the market. It can be used to allow customers to get the location to find their best food of their preference, as well as can be used to help customers find the best type of food near them. Here is the ER diagram of our fast food library. In the following slides, I will dive into more depth for each component and how they interact with one another. The first entity we'll discuss is the fast food restaurant. This entity has 4 attributes: restaurant type, location, restaurant ID, and price range. The restaurant ID will serve as the unique identifier for this entity. This entity will also have multiple relationships, which will be discussed in the further slides. The food item has 4 attributes as well: the name, the price, the food category, and the food ID. The food ID will be the unique identifier for this entity. The next item we'll discuss is the menu item. So this entity consists of a menu ID as its unique identifier and contains multiple food items. Each menu can be broken down into one of the 3 subcategories: a breakfast menu, regular menu, or kids menu. There is also a relationship between the menus and the restaurant. This relationship is to identify which menu types are available at each restaurant. The other relationship is between the food items and the menu. Each food item will be linked to a specific menu available. Our next entity will be the review. The review consists of a rating, a reviewer name, and a description. For each restaurant can have multiple reviews, and each review belongs to a restaurant. We also keep track of the average rating in this relationship. Our last entity is the hours entity. This entity has 3 attributes: a close time, an open time, and the day of the week. This has a relationship with the fast food restaurant. The fast food restaurant can operate at multiple hours, and the hours belongs to that fast food restaurant. Additionally, there's a relationship with the breakfast menu. The breakfast menu might be available at multiple hours, and the hours belongs to that breakfast menu. And that was the breakdown of our entity relationship diagram. Just for a recap of the overall diagram. So we have a fast food restaurant entity. This can have multiple reviews. It also operates at 1 or more hours. Each restaurant can have multiple menus, which each contain multiple food items. The menu can also be broken down into one of the 3 categories: a breakfast menu, a regular menu, and a kids menu. Lastly, the breakfast menu can be available at multiple hours that are defined. And that is essentially our entity relationship diagram. As for the development of our project, we will be creating a web application. The following technologies will be used in order to achieve our goals. Our backend will be built with the Flask micro framework, a Python framework aimed to keep the core simple but extensible. Our front end will include HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, standard front-end technologies. The database management system will be the PostgreSQL database. We will also use PsychoPG2 as our Python library to interact with it. Version control will be done with a GitHub repository, and our hosting will be done with cloud hosting service, such as Heroku or some other cloud provider. In summary, we have proposed a fast food restaurant library for our CSE412 project. Users from all sides of the market will have input and access to our library. This means that users will be able to compare items at each restaurant, look at different menus, determine what's hot in the market, and a plethora of other information as well. All the objects and their attributes will be modifiable by all the users in order to create an up-to-date application. We thank you for watching our CSE412 presentation.